It's funny how when we're in an unconscious state, how many physical things we blame for our problems. How many things like on the ground we blame for our problems. Like we're in our conscious, like, oh, I'm that jerk that cut me off, or what that person said about me. As you get more conscious, it becomes physically higher, more invisible things. It used to be that someone cut you off, now it's Mercury retrograde. That's your problem now. Now, I understand that scientifically Mercury retrograde is a thing, but I don't have a belief that it affects me in any way. And because of that, my days seem to be fine when Mercury's in retrograde. It's fascinating how many things we're dying to give our power to other than ourselves. Do you understand that? We're dying to. We want to make it the sign. Oh, I had a sign. I thought I should say that person, and then I found a sign. Yeah, but the feeling also is a sign. Like, I have people come up to me. I've had a woman once come up to me. I want to divorce my husband, but I'm looking for a sign. The fact you want to divorce him is the sign. Don't wait till you drive by Divorce Your Husband Avenue. Like, that's... And even when you do, you'll disqualify that sign. You know how many signs have shown up in you that you disqualify? No, that's not the sign that I'm looking for. It's not that sign. Right? So we pick and choose what our signs are, which is really interesting too, right? All the time. I one time called a woman and said, hey, are you coming to my event? And she goes, well, I was trying to sign up and then my computer crashed. So I think that might be a sign that I shouldn't. And I said, why is me calling you not a sign that you should? Isn't that a sign that I called you? And I said, do you want to go? And she said, yes, I do. And I said, then that's the answer. You don't have to go with what should I do. You should go with what do I want to do. When you're going to buy a car, if you make a list of pros and cons for why you should get this car, you're not asking yourself what you want. You're going, what's the most practical? What'll get me the most love? What will my parents say I should have? And you're making a pro and con list, but you're not actually saying, what do I want? You should know within seconds which car you want. When you go in there, you go, that one, this one is a no. This one feels light, this one feels heavy, this feels good. That should be your deciding factor only. Because that feeling comes with so many other things that you can't see. So we make other things outside of us a sign. We make other things outside of us more powerful than us. How about an idea? When you have an idea, you get obsessed with the idea, right? You go, you guys, I could do this. I didn't even think about this. I could do this thing. Yeah, but the idea came from you. Get excited about you, because you can print this shit all day. Like, you can make ideas all the time. You're getting excited about the idea, which would be like an apple tree going, look at this one, and now it's not making apples. Everyone, look at this one apple I just made. Can you believe this apple that I made? It's crazy, you guys, this apple. No, it came from you. Get excited about you, because you're the space that all of this stuff is coming from. Even fear. Fear is where you have a thought, and then you forget that you had the thought, and then you get scared of the thought you came up with. That's like drawing a picture of a monster and forgetting you drew it and putting it on the wall and freaking out every night before you go to bed. That's what fear is. You're coming up with why everything outside of you is more important than you. You'll hear people's minds through. You'll have an amazing thing happen, and then your mind goes, I gotta make sense of why that happened, and you blew it. Maybe we don't need to make sense of everything. What would happen if we stopped trying to figure out why everything's happening? And maybe the meaning of life is to not figure out what the meaning of life is. What would happen to you if you stopped trying to figure out why everything? How unfun would the roller coaster be if you spent the entire time trying to figure out how it was built? Like, how will this... You enjoy the ride. You don't go, oh, okay, so they put 2x4s there? Like, you don't do that. So whenever something happens, just act like it's normal that it happens, because your mind wants to make sense of it so it can go back to the small place again. Because why would that happen? I need an explanation for that. A thing I hear all the time when I talk is people go, I gotta wrap my mind around that. No, you don't. Because your mind can't. Your mind showed up and it developed itself at birth, and it'll end itself at death. So your mind doesn't understand any of this because it thinks that there's a beginning and an ending. What you actually are has no beginning and ending. You'll actually discover that when you feel. Your heart wasn't talking from a limited, keep yourself safe place, right? So your mind can't wrap itself around some stuff. And if your mind can wrap itself around any of these things, it's too small. Your idea is too small. because your mind is trying to get itself around it based on the old story of what you were. You're trying to get your old story wrapped around this new thing so you can stay the old story. Forget the old story. Let's let go of the old story. You're just this moment. If you're just this moment, if you and I are just this moment, do you realize that all we are is heart, lungs, just all the stuff, and you and me and Oprah and Obama and a homeless person, all are the same thing. The only thing that separates you is your story of the past. Well, he's the president and I'm not, and he's homeless, so I have more money than him, right? And you create separation with your mind. But if you get we're just this moment, then the sky's the limit on what you can create, because every insane idea that comes through, you don't disqualify it because it's not too big for the old story of what you thought you were. Everything that's coming through me could be coming through you if you just allow yourself to be in the moment. And then the way to actually keep it going is to act on the thing that's coming through. Because if when I have the idea show up, I split into two and I go, I should do this. No, I can't because of this. If I honor this, the new idea leaves. If I honor the new idea, the fear leaves, right? So you have a ton of insane callings that have been coming through, and you haven't let them express themselves.